And so in my mind, like the first thing we need to do is say, can we do this, right? Does this fit? Can we do it? And obviously we answered that. And what I think is beautiful too about the platform is we get that done. We got that done so fast for you. That's not a big, hard thing for us to do, to play with
Yeah.
a scenario and say, okay, we buy this house. How does it affect, the butterfly effect of retirement going out 30 plus years? Are we good?
Yep.
Yes. Great. Now we move on to, well, how, right? Like, how do we then, get to Florida, look at the real estate, and how do we structure the right deal? Interest rates are very high, right? Getting a mortgage is, man, is it a pain in the butt? It's like,
Right.
I kind of kid around with clients. It's like airport security, post or pre 9/11, you go to the airport, you walk through a metal detector and they scan a bag and off you go. And now, you're taking your belt and your shoes off and they're
Yeah.
looking through everything. And that's how the mortgage business changed, after the financial crisis. It's now, super difficult. So getting a quick deal done is hard if you're going to tie a mortgage to it, not to mention the pain you're going to go through. So as we looked at that, what we started thinking about accessing a portfolio line of credit, I think that's a really efficient way to do a deal like this because one, it puts you in a situation to be a cash buyer without you having to sell anything out of your portfolio, recognize taxes for a what if scenario. What if we get a bad inspection? What if we don't like the appraisal? What if we just, don't want to buy it? We don't want to disrupt the portfolio, recognize gains or taxes, be out of the market potentially in a scenario. So, we went over that, and I think that was a really nice complement to the scenario. So we put the financing in place within 2 weeks, and now you're off and running to write the cash deal. And I would say, tell me about that. With the realtors, like, yeah, cash is king. That's the market down there at this point. I know it had been for quite a long time. The run up of COVID, everyone was migrating to
Yeah.
Florida, and the real estate market in general is like that too. But was that a big part of it as well, Craig?
It was. And I mean, two things. Number one, I didn't even know what a pledge asset line was. I never heard of a pledge atlas line. So just in my mind, talking to Barb, it was like, well, if we are going to buy it, it's basically two ways. Either we sell a bunch of stock and stuff from Schwab and Bernardo's, and we write a check, which brings some tax liabilities, could really affect us. Or get a mortgage, and so I really thought those were my only two options because I never heard of this, the pledge asset line. So once you told me about that and the benefits of that, it made a lot of sense. So then when we went down, I knew I had that in my pocket to say, to kind of throw a low ball number at this place that had been going down and down and down. So I mean, I said, basically cash offer, which I didn't have before we talked to you guys, and then just a quick settlement,
Mhm.
which was very appealing to the buyer. This
Yeah.
place had been on the market for, well, I'll say well over a year,
Oh wow.
and he just redid the whole place. The cash offer with a quick settlement was very appealing to him. And that's what was able to get me to the price that I was comfortable with and thought that it made sense to Barb and I to
Yeah.
move forward.
Yeah. Huge advantage in the marketplace
Huge.
to just sit there as a cash buyer. I think that's the first benefit. But then second to that is, how many real estate deals have you either been in or heard of that things fall apart right before settlement for whatever reason,
Yes.
right? Well, again, not disrupting the portfolio, knowing we have that line of credit there that we could deploy at a moment's notice to take care of deposits, to take care of the final wires to escrow to close it out. But then if something fell through, we didn't all of a sudden transact, and ultimately, in my opinion, and obviously this is the scenario, we settle. It's stressful to go through and buy real estate, stressful enough, all the moving parts we
Yes.
get to do. Eliminate the
Very.
mortgage company, eliminate having to raise cash from the portfolio, put the line of credit in place. Now we're good. Now we're sitting pretty, and we're able to move through all the other moving pieces of the deal. And then as we close it, what do? We say, great, now we're closed. We've got this debt. And how do we want to deal with the debt? Do we want to pay some down? Do we want to service it?
Yeah.
Whatever. And I think that's the flexibility that we just take a
Yep.
big variable off the table in a transaction like this and ultimately get through it and work our way then on the other side of it. Great. We've got the house now. Now let's work together on the strategy of how do we either eliminate or service the debt and get to a comfortable level.